and for your comments. I'll now recognize Mr. Peters from California for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to say it's great to be back in West Texas. Thank you, Mr. Pfluger, for having us. Mr. Pfluger does a wonderful job representing you all and advocating for you in Washington, D.C. He might think that it's a credit to him that he got such a big crowd, but I think it's because folks heard there might be a Democrat and they wanted to see it. It's a pretty rare commodity in these parts, I understand. On my previous trips, I have visited Houston, Midland, and Lubbock and learned about the oil and gas industry and local communities. I got a tour from Pioneer of fracking and some drilling. I came away with an understanding of how this industry is not just an economic feature of Texas, but a cultural one. And today, and I met people whose families have been working in energy for generations. It's hard, honest work. They're proud of it. And today, I'm excited to continue our dialogue. To start, I want to say that this country has never solved any great problem, whether it's sending men to the moon or winning a world war or beating back a pandemic, without the participation of both political parties. And in Congress, I have 3 energy priorities that I think are ripe for bipartisan cooperation right now. First, permitting reform. In the 118th Congress, we can work together to make it easier, not harder, to build things. For my Republican colleagues, this means looking beyond just oil and gas and truly investing in an all-of-the-above energy strategy. In the coming decades, we have to build massive amounts of energy infrastructure, including transmission lines, solar, wind power, carbon capture, nuclear, and more. And Texas is a great example of this energy future. We know the state is a global leader in oil and gas, but it also leads elsewhere. The American Clean Power Association found that Texas is the national leader in clean energy development, just ahead of my home state of California, which might bring some smiles in this room, because everyone likes to be bigger in Texas. All right, so you're bigger than California in clean energy. This state is first in the nation in wind power and second in solar and storage. 40% of the electricity in Texas comes from wind, solar, and nuclear. We can learn valuable lessons from Texas and admit that picking technology winners and losers is a failed strategy, whether you're focused solely on natural gas in Texas or solar power in California. On permitting reform, my Democratic colleagues have to accept that environmental laws written in the 1970s, primarily to stop bad projects, can and should be updated to meet the environmental challenges of today, and we can work together to speed up our processes without sacrificing environmental outcomes. My second priority is making our energy system cleaner. We all agree that oil and gas isn't going away anytime soon. We also can agree that making U.S. oil and gas production cleaner is good for the economy and the environment. For the oil and gas industry, the focus must be on methane, a superpollutant more potent and harmful than CO2. Last year, Democrats passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which included billions of dollars to monitor and reduce methane emissions at oil and gas facilities. This money can help address the methane problem without breaking the bank for companies. And I'd love to work with you to make sure that this money is spent effectively in California to help your producers make this advance. Third, I want to talk about advanced energy technologies. The United States should lead the world in developing and exporting technologies like carbon capture, geothermal, direct air capture, and advanced nuclear. The U.S. oil and gas industry can help develop carbon capture and carbon removal because they have the knowledge, labor force, and capital to take these technologies from good ideas to large-scale deployment. We can clean up our domestic energy production and help the world do the same, positioning the United States and Texas, parenthetically, as a global energy and climate leader. It's wonderful to be with you today, and I yield back.
I thank the gentleman. Now it's my pleasure